One issue with every character in Melee. Peach. When she's not doing 50% in a single down smash, she's busy having one of the best skins in the game, and also having one of the worst skins in the game. People sometimes just straight up say this is Daisy. Okay, who's this? Wario? This is Peach with a really bad tan, cosplaying as Daisy. In fact, this skin might be based around the Ganondorf fashion trend that was popular among Japanese women when Melee was first released. Anyway, look at Peach blink. Check out her ugly, blocky eyelid. It's a simple texturing error, and almost looks like JPEG artifacting or maybe a wonky color space conversion. Whatever initially caused this issue, it's easily fixed. Just take the texture, select this less pink color, and paint over the blotches. Easy. Now what's interesting is, Peach's Daisy-themed skin doesn't have this issue at all. Maybe you're not all bad. Mr. Game & Watch. He's a simple low tier, sure, but that doesn't mean he has no depth. His model's width is 0.01, not 0. Hey look, Sheik and Puff have the same depth as Mr. Game & Watch. Like everyone in the game, Game & Watch has some cool stuff he can do. This is called the Kamikaze glitch. It's done by sucking up 3 really strong energy projectiles, like 3 PK flashes, with Game & Watch's bucket, then releasing the resulting powered up oil on an opponent's shield. The recoil from hitting a shield with such a strong attack pushes Game & Watch so far, he'll pretty much instantly kill himself. Plus, because this oil Game & Watch releases also has a hitbox, he'll also kill any poor soul that's caught in his path. Just between me and you, Game & Watch, I think you're a lot cooler than Puff and Sheik. Donkey Kong. There's something inherently funny about characters in video games T-posing. There's also just something inherently humorous about Donkey Kong. If only we could somehow combine them, with no mods, on original hardware. Oh wait. In Melee's event match mode, if you go to level 10, beat Mario, and then pause, right when the next match starts, you can witness something beautiful. DK. T-posing in vanilla Melee. If you yourself play DK, you can even have 2 DKs T-posing at the same time. The beauty of this being so easy and quick to attempt is that you can have this glorious image grace tournament goers everywhere, on multiple setups at a time. It's beautiful. Link. At the end of my video about Marth's grab, I showed off Link grabbing an opponent with an insanely long hookshot. Despite the words in plain text that it was real, some of you were still understandably skeptical. Alright, let's do it again, explain how to do it, and make it much, much longer. So how did I increase the length of his hookshot like this? Well, if Link uses his hookshot, then a different sized Link uses their hookshot immediately afterward. The initial Link's hookshot will be way longer. This bigger Link was off-screen in my video. You can do this with no mods by simply having the second Link eat a mushroom to grow in size. But if you use illegitimate means to make the second Link really big, the normal-sized Link can have a ridiculously long, unbelievable hookshot that could nearly rival Puff's back air. One issue, or funny quirk, with every character in Melee. Bowser. It's been a long time since this game was released, and still, no one really knows why they made him run like this. Goofy as it is, running is essential to Bowser's pseudo-infinite combo. Normally in Melee, when you break out of a grab, both you and your opponent are unable to act for 30 frames. Bowser, however, has a whopping 10-frame advantage on opponents who break out of his meaty claws. This means Bowser has just enough time to grab you, pummel you a few times, let you escape, dash for 1 frame, then grab you again until he's ready to kill you. Now about that prefix. Yeah, so to escape this chain grab, the opponent just has to hold up on their analog stick when they escape, which causes them to bounce out of your grip, completely negating this chain grab. So close to mediocrity. One awesome jank thing with every character in Melee. Samus. Everyone knows the wave dash and super wave dash, but those things are limited by the length of the ground they're performed on. Some Melee players want to zoom everywhere, floor or no floor. And for them, there's the Goomy Zoomy. To do it, drop through the edge of a platform and use the bomb's animation to land on it again. Hold fully down and back very slightly after you bounce on the platform, then fully forward on the next frame. Once you're airborne, hold down and slightly back on the analog stick again. The further back you hold the analog stick, the more it'll deplete your momentum, so try to keep it tilted as slightly as possible. Of course, you can use it to reach an opponent that's off stage, but I like doing the coolest self-destruct of all time with it. Ice Climbers and Kirby. Since these three, are right next to each other on the character select screen and they have some synergy, let's just have some fun with all of them. As you probably know, Kirby's up throw shoots him up into the air extremely quickly, then sends him back down. But if we could somehow interrupt this part of the animation before he's sent back down, maintaining this upward momentum, we could make him soar to insane heights. A lone Nana will do. Just have Popo kill himself so it's just Nana, then before Nana disappears herself, up throw her and time it so she disappears during Kirby's ascent. Done correctly, Kirby will be up there for well over a minute, and reach heights he never knew he could, approximately 42 Final Destinations high. Roy. Multi-hit attacks in Melee can be pretty melee. The most famous one-hit kill in Melee is Roy's reverse up B, a multi-hit move which kills the lightest characters in the game at 0% on some legal stages. This is done by only connecting with the first of this attack's many hitboxes. Roy's up smash is also a multi-hit, and just like his up B, can produce some unintended results. Roy's multi-hits were designed such that they're not easily escaped before the last hit connects. For up smash, they made the tip of his sword send down, the idea being it would send opponents into the subsequent hitboxes underneath, rather than immediately popping you out. However, if an opponent is just a bit too off to the side, and they completely whiff the hitboxes below it, well, that can happen. 2 issues with every character in Melee. Melee was ahead of its time. It was released woefully unfinished by a talented but severely overworked team, and it received several patches after launch to remedy its many problems. Ganondorf's 1.0 iteration was one of the first things they fixed. Not only was Ganondorf considered grounded when using his up B, causing a few attacks to make him just teleport to the ground, but his neutral air had its second kick's hitbox programmed to activate a bit too early. This resulted in opponents just phasing through his leg, unharmed. Goofy for sure, though while it does make this move visually unclear, it had the inadvertent benefit of giving Ganondorf the most powerful pose in the game, one capable of killing through sheer intimidation alone. I think they could have left this one in. 1 mystery solved for every character in Melee. Dr. Mario. He's unique among Melee's clones in that he's barely been altered from his base at all. No, seriously, that was his design philosophy. There's an oddity with Doc. When you phantom hit with a pill, that is, barely connect it with an opponent's hurt box, it plays a different sound than usual. Classic Melee jank. Or is it? This Koopa Shell type sound effect has perplexed players for nearly 2 decades, so let's finally get to the bottom of it, by hacking the game and muting the pill's sound effect. Mystery solved. It always plays this Koopa Shell sound when it hits an opponent. It's simply drowned out by the sound of the pill being destroyed, which happens when you punch it, or simply get hit by it. Well, a non-phantom hit. You know what I mean. Mario. He's kinda like the Mario of Melee, just average, which is fine, because even average in Melee is capable of breaking the game. Go to a cool stage, like one of these 5 I picked randomly, against one of these characters, then use Mario's cape when your opponent is performing an attack from ledge. Boom. You just folded space-time. Now while this is pretty cool, and you could maybe try to set up a team kill with it or something, wouldn't it be like 10 times funnier if we cut out all the work entirely, and it just teleported them into the blast zone? With any one of that same group of characters, go to Yoshi's Island. plant your opponent on this ledge and do the cape trick on them again. That's what I'm talking about. Jigglypuff. Alright, it's more of a Kirby thing, but Puff's an important part of it. Enter a match with Pink Spheres 1 and 2. Suck and swallow Jigglypuff so you acquire its power. Charge a rollout with Puff. Meanwhile, jump into the air with Kirby and charge his rollout. Then, just before Kirby lands, unleash both of their rollouts at the same time so they collide with each other. If you timed it correctly, Kirby will be slightly flatter than before. Now that's funny. Continue doing this for what feels like a short eternity until Kirby is so wide you can't even really tell what he's doing anymore. Try out some items, long style, or simply just go for a stroll. Feel free to suck up other opponents to get long crowns and normal toads, but don't suck up Game & Watch, or he'll ruin all of your work. One with, in Melee, Marth. There's a tragedy at the heart of this character. They couldn't find a use for this awesome voice line.
Let's dance!
The fat Marth technique kinda makes up for it though. It's pretty common in competitive Melee, so for competitive players, it's probably stopped registering as anything special at all. But if you get up close and slow it down, I think you can appreciate it for its jankness again.
He touched, but it didn't matter, that was weird.
Play against Fox or Falco. Do your thing at the ledge. Then just time a get-up attack. The cool thing about this is, Marth is still considered on the ledge during this animation, preventing your opponent from grabbing it, but his collision box is on the stage, pushing opponents back off. Why does the game put you in freefall if your landing animation is interrupted? Captain Falcon. Sometimes in this game, your character just says no. Hit an opponent with Shine? No you didn't. Rest someone? Nope. Bowser? About a year ago, I saw this clip on Twitter that left users puzzled.
Whoa! What? Excuse me?
With some theorizing Falcon might have Z-axised or went around Sheik's body and missed. That was until PTAS set the record straight. When Falcon's side Bs, all projectiles within these white bubbles are prevented from hitting him. Something funky happens when these projectiles also have a hurt box though. They stop the move from activating at all while they're within Falcon's side B bubbles. This means if an opponent stands in a field of projectiles you can actually hit, like Sheik's needles or Link's arrows, you're essentially immune to Raptor Boost. Falcon just said no. Luigi. You ever just wanna... But you're kinda bummed that Luigi's voice is just Mario sped up approximately 14%? No big deal nowadays though, we can just fix it ourselves. Let's give Luigi a cool voice, like Doom Guy from the original Doom. Hell yeah. Now when we Voodoo Dash, a technique where we shoot a fireball just before wave dashing off of a platform to conserve momentum, we sound a lot more badass and manly. One cool trick, oh never mind, with every character in Melee, Sheik and Zelda. At this point in Melee's history, you're probably aware of these two things. Sheik is a good character, and Zelda is pretty much just the Sheik option. Zelda can sometimes be a nice last resort for Sheik players though. For example, sometimes Sheiks will transform into Zelda when they're knocked off stage for her superior drift, slower fall speed, and longer recovery. A less common Zeldification presents itself when Sheik is about to die with needles charged. Normally if Sheik dies with needles, they're gone on her next stock. But if you switch to Zelda before you die, then switch back after you respawn, your needle charge will be intact. Unfortunately though, switching between characters makes you lose your spawn invincibility. Why did they do this to you? Ness. It's insert current year. You guys know the yo-yo glitch. You guys have seen Ness create a lingering hitbox with his yo-yo, then stretch that hitbox to his current position. You've seen Ness forward smash across the stage. You've seen him grab across the stage. Hell, you've even seen him attach an up B hitbox to himself using the yo-yo glitch. But, have you ever seen this?
One issue with the main character. Young Link.
He's a good kid, but he's kinda just a lame version of himself. Young Link can moonwalk okay, but Link is just a little better at it. Sure, his neutral air lasts a while, but it doesn't turn him into a ball of death after he's done kicking like Link's does. Young Link's up B does this, while Link's much more diabolical up B does this. Even their more niche techniques, Big Link just does better. Link's acid drop, a technique where he bonks you on the head with his bomb, air dodges into the ground, then catches the bomb, and repeats, is kinda like Fox's wave shine, except 10 times harder for 10 times less reward. Young Link can also do it, but his bomb drop sends at a different angle, and it just has less sauce. Sorry bud, you're just not that cool and we gotta get rid of you. Pikachu and Pichu. Like most of Melee's clones, the two Chews are so fundamentally similar, they share much of the same jank. For example, if Pikachu down smashes multiple opponents at once, it can do a taunt with no sound. I'm assuming because with both the multiple static and hit sound effects, Pikachu's got too many sound effects going at once. And while his little version's down smash is a wimpier single hit with no electricity, Pichu can do the same trick with forward smash. Hey, check it out. By hitting an impossibly precise coordinate on the analog stick, they're breaking the rules of the game by going in the same direction twice with up B. And look, Pichu did it so much, he wore himself out. One issue with every character in Melee. Yoshi. You ever just want to become a pixel? Or perhaps even smaller? You're in luck, because alongside renowned jank catalyst Kirby, Yoshi can do just that. Just swallow Yoshi with Kirby, and then swallow Yoshi with Kirby. Then, as our dinosaur friend, mash out of the egg as fast as you can. If you mashed hard enough, you'll have to buy a new controller about a week sooner, and Yoshi will be a bit smaller. Now, just keep doing it until you're the size you want to be. Falco. He's pretty much the perfect character, other than all of his losing matchups. I think he's especially cool because his up throw and back throw are so interactive for his opponent. You see, with everyone else, the only control you have of your character when you're being thrown is which direction you want to skew your trajectory. But with these two throws, your opponent can kind of decide how much knockback they want to take. And it's all due to his lasers. Because they have knockback themselves, unlike, say, Fox's, players can use Smash DI to wiggle their sticks and shift around. So if you want to get sent far away, wiggle away. And if you want to stay close, wiggle in. Cool. One issue with every character in Melee. Mewtwo. Low tiers can't have shit in Melee. You think you have something special going on with Shadow Balls, and then it turns out everyone can throw them. Just load up your 1.0 version of Melee, and then forward throw someone as Mewtwo. Then, as someone else, air dodge into the flurry of Shadow Balls, and simply catch one. No, seriously, you just catch one like it's an item. Now, while the Shadow Ball you caught doesn't have a hitbox, you and anyone else in the match can throw it from anywhere, from any distance. And if Mewtwo catches it, he can charge a new, bigger Shadow Ball for everyone to toss around. One issue with every character in online Melee. Fox. There was a time when you'd be fighting or playing Fox online when suddenly... Now, while you're doing the sickest combo of all time on your screen, your opponent just saw you run off the stage and kill yourself. This was decently common back in the day, and actually ruined some online tournament matches. But why? Let's ask Fizzy. Why did this happen? Whoa! So basically, sometimes dynamic elements like capes and hair became out of sync between two players due to differing rollback frames. Normally this isn't an issue because these physics-based parts can't be hit. However, Fox's dynamic waggly tail can. So if one player's ping spikes and causes a rollback, Fox's tail might end up positioned slightly differently, meaning one player can hit the tail, while on the other player's screen, it completely whiffs.